Welcome back. It's a familiar setting, and it's always a pleasure to have our friend Lindsey Hargett here from LK Cooking. But I will say that she has taken no concern whatsoever for the fact that your pal Tara is absolutely starving right now, and she's going straight to the dogs this morning.
Yeah, we're doing something totally different today.
We are. How are you?
Good. How have you been?
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, we're doing something kind of different. We focus a lot on our health, and everybody's about eating clean food and watching the ingredients in our food and things like that. And why should it be any different for our little fur babies too? So,
well said.
Because we feed them, if you see what's in like those milk bones and rawhides and things like that, and they're really not the best for them. And we're always taught like don't feed the dog from the table, which obviously you shouldn't feed them like while you're eating or they're gonna beg and stuff. But
right.
People food, real food, is good for them if you feed them the right things, obviously. So, so you can technically eat these treats we're gonna make for them today. We've got a couple of treats that we're gonna show in the next segment, but we're gonna make one now that it's like a peanut butter protein ball. And I'm sure you've seen those before. We're like the energy bites, but we put like chocolate chips in them and chia seeds and stuff like that. But we're gonna leave those out for the dogs today, and we're just gonna make, a little dog version.
Right
so
on.
I'm gonna let you pour these in there. So one thing that you wanna avoid with dogs is wheat and regular flour. So a lot of recipes will do flour in the dog biscuits, and that's not what we want to do. So we've got oats, and you can grind those up to make oat flour if you do find a recipe that, for dog biscuits, but you don't want to use regular flour. It's not good for dogs. So we've got some oats here. Terry poured some peanuts in as well. We're going to do a little bit of peanut butter. One thing about peanut butter, they always say, dogs love peanut butter. They like to lick it.
Sure.
But you don't want to give dogs peanut butter that has the artificial sweetener xylitol in it, because it's toxic for dogs. And that's in your regular, your Skippies, your Jif. So you want to get organic peanut butter. I get it from Costco, because then, I don't feel like I'm spending $1 million on my dog treats. So, and when this jar is empty, I give it to my puppy, and it keeps her entertained for at least a half hour. So, so you want to make sure that you have natural peanut butter for them, and then it's good for them. So we've got those oats. We've got some peanuts for some chunkiness. We're going to do just a little bit of peanut butter. And the goal here, when you're feeding yourself, we already have to feed ourselves, 3 meals a day, and it's already so much work. But so, we don't want to add dog meals on top of that. It's way too much work. So the goal behind all of this is to show how easy it is to incorporate real food into your dog's diets without, meal prepping for your dog, which if you do that, power to you. Because I did it yesterday and was like, this is awesome, but I can't do that every day. Like, it's so much work. So we've got some peanut butter, some peanuts, some oats. We're gonna do a little bit of honey. You obviously don't wanna give your dogs too much sweetener. The same is true for like any fruits, which we'll talk about in a minute, because too much sugar, isn't super great for them. So I'll let you stir that up, and we'll kind of talk about that. So, like I said, these are going to be like protein energy bites, and really you could do a bigger batch of this and take a little bit out before you put the chocolate chips, the things like that in, and make a couple for your dog.
I was thinking just that you could kind of roll this in, no pun intended, to making some treats for yourself. And as you say, we're all more mindful that if you really want to know what you're putting in your body or your dog's body, make it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you could just make a big batch of this and then take a little bit aside for your pup, and then put the rest of your stuff in there. So one thing with organic peanut butter, it's kind of running at room temperature, and kind of same with honey as well. So what we're gonna do, what you're gonna wanna do is, so we've got it in this mixture here, and it's still a little bit soft, and obviously your dog doesn't care what it's like, but if you wanna be able to handle it, we're gonna refrigerate it for a little bit and then kind of scoop it onto a tray. So that's what we do. So we'll just put that in the fridge and try that later. We'll let the dogs try it later. So we're gonna talk about some things that you can do to kind of supplement your dog's diet. And like I said, I didn't want this to be and then you get a dog cookie cutter shape and do all this work, and that's not what it's about. And the same is true for people food as well, or for our food, is you just wanna eat clean and simple, and it's not that difficult. Real food isn't that hard. So it's the same with your dogs. So I've got some things here that I like to give my dogs on a fairly regular basis. I won't pretend like I feed this to them all day, every day, because it's too much work. But if you do a little bit of prep like this, like yesterday I just sauteed up some chicken. Actually, I didn't saute it. So when you're cooking meat for dogs, you want to leave out fats and seasonings. They don't care that it's not salted. They're gonna love it anyways. It's not the best for them. So really you can just, you can boil chicken, or I just cooked this on the stove without any fat at all, and it was totally fine. I browned up some ground turkey. You can do ground beef, just again, no seasonings. You can do, vegetables are really good for dogs, but their bodies can't digest them as well if they're not cooked. So you do want to steam them or saute them. If you are going to saute them, instead of steaming them in a little bit of water, I would use coconut oil because that's, a fine oil for dogs. So you just need a tiny little bit, and then I just, got some frozen vegetables because, it's dogs and they don't care. And,
Sure.
And, they're fresh. So I just sauteed those up a little bit, and then you just give them a little bit, for breakfast or for dinner, whatever. And even what you can do, like I was saying with this, if you made a bigger batch for yourself and just took some aside for your dog, you can do that with your regular food as well. I do that for one of my clients. Whenever we make a dinner, if we have turkey or some chicken, I just set a little aside and cook it bland, and then their dog has dinner, and then they have their food as well. So it really is just, it's almost like making baby food. I used to make baby food as well, and we would do the same thing, kind of take out a little bit so it wasn't as strong flavored, and blend that up for the baby or just boil it for a dog, and it's really the same thing. So they can eat what you eat as long as you are feeding them things that aren't toxic to them. So.
And some of those same, or all of those same rules really apply to us.
Yes, exactly.
We talk about clean eating, and
Real food.
maybe if what gets us in is how much we love our dog, that's a great reason.
It's a great way.
But not using so much sodium and not so much fats,
or clean fats, things like that.
Good for us too. So maybe we can eat cleaner.
Yeah, just all
pets.
around through the whole family. Another couple things that I like to give my dogs, especially in the winter, I make a lot of bone broth, and whenever I make a big batch of it or I'm about to make soup, I just take a little out and put it in their bowls. It's really good. It's good for their gut health. Another thing is yogurt. You really do want to get organic as much as possible. Like you were saying, the same is true for us, and hopefully it has really steered me to get more organic things for me and my husband, because I'm like, oh, this is what we need for the dogs. The dogs need clean food because I'm a crazy dog person. But it's made me realize, if I'm feeding my dog clean things, of course I need those things too. So it goes all the way around.
Absolutely. And look at the nutrition label of a plain yogurt and compare it to a blueberry
strawberry
yogurt. Yes, and they're
full of
delicious.
sugars.
But there's a reason for that. And in a lot of cases, there's as much sugar or sweetener in a small container of yogurt as there is in a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of want to watch out for that.
Very cool. Lindsey, we're going to take a quick break. The boss is in the control room, said, hey, let's let our advertisers have a moment. We'll come back and we're going to finish up talking
with
about
the dogs.
Food with dogs.
Watch her just.
Welcome back. It is Lindsey Hargett, aka LK's cooking extravaganza for dogs.
With the dogs today. We decided to get crazy. So we made our treats in the last one, but I've got some more treats and then just our food that we made. So first off, this is Suri. She's a Yorkie and she's almost 10. And this is Elsa, and she's a Bouvier, and she does not care where we are right now. So, but do you guys want some treats? So I also made some popsicles because they're really fun in the winter. This one really loves ice cubes. And so I made some peanut butter, yogurt, banana, just kind of blended them up. So we've got some for both of them. Here, let's see. Do you want one of these? Can you sit? Let's see if she'll hold still. Okay, do you want a treat? She loves ice cubes, and so this is a good treat for your dogs in the summer. She's just gonna munch on that. Terry, do you want to give one of these to Suri?
Absolutely.
It'll be a little yogurty.
Sorry, good girl. That's a good girl.
Good girl, us. You lie down.
Oh, yeah. You want to lick them?
Yeah, so they love. You don't have to get complicated with the dog's food. Like I said, just real ingredients. You can give them, we give them just little bits of the chicken and the other food. Do you need another treat? So let's see if Elsa, can you shake? That's a good girl. Elsa is 9 months, and like I said, Suri is 10. So.
And Suri is the chairman of the Department of Jealousy right now.
Suri is the queen of the house, and Elsa just follows her rules and hits her a couple times a day. So you can make these popsicles. Good shake. I'm gonna post the recipes for these popsicles on my Instagram stories later because they're really super simple. Like I said, just yogurt, peanut butter, bananas. Can you high five? That's a good high five. It's the same trick, but she'll still do it.
Here's a question for you. With a different mode of eating, will you feed your dogs a different number of times or a different amount?
Different amount of their food. So really you just want to ask your vet when it comes to real food how much you should give them, and don't steal the food. That's a good girl. Whenever we feed her real food, because she eats like this much food, so we'll just give her a little bit. But whenever we feed her real food, we will take a little bit of her normal food out and, kind of even it out. That way she's not eating tons and tons of food. But you really can use real food to kind of help your dog's diet. So if they're sick, you can give them pumpkin. You can give dogs rice if they've, kind of got the runs, and that will fix that problem. If they are a little opposite of that, you can give them pumpkin, and so you can put pumpkin into these treats. And really, whenever my dogs whenever they're sick in some way, shape, or form, I go to real food to fix the problem. And you should do that with people as well. You should always start with food instead of medicine, instead of going to the vet and saying, oh, my dog's sick, it needs this or needs that, and fill them up with medicines. You should try and find, the right food that can help them, fix them one way or the other. Are you just freaking out?
Freaking out.
So feed her some vegetables. So the dogs are very food motivated, just like me.
No doubt about it.
So yeah, like I was saying, you wanna try and fix the problems with food, which is why I like to make homemade food for them. Do you wanna come here? Are you freaking out? I'm surprised the puppy's being so good. She's just super chill, and the little dog's so crazy. So, but yeah, no matter what kind of dog you have, I would always, ask your vet beforehand to see if things are good. There are some certain things that I don't think people know about that you shouldn't give your dogs. You shouldn't give them grapes or raisins, obviously chocolate, things like that. But like I said, ask your vet, ask them about supplementing. Like I said, if you give them a little bit of bone broth or yogurt every day, it's really good for their gut health. So, and it's good for you as well. So, like I was saying, have a little bit of bone broth yourself and give some to the dogs. And it's just, like I said, it's really helped me kind of, think, oh, maybe I should eat cleaner too if I'm being a crazy dog person.
Absolutely, I see
should do
that
it for
very
myself
clearly
too.
because as you said, we love our fur babies so much.
So it's just as important for all of us. So
it's good stuff. And really, overall, and I have to say, in kind of thinking about this as we're looking at all the things that you're feeding them, it's not that hard.
Oh no, like this all took me, I cooked all 3 of these things in the same pan, sauteed the chicken, sauteed the ground turkey, and then put the vegetables in there, and within 10 minutes, I have either a day worth of food for the puppy or 2 months worth of food for the little dog. So,
right.
So really it's super easy, and I blended both of these treats, which I'll put on my Instagram stories, the recipes later today.
Awesome.
I blended them both in the same blender, so it was like the easiest cooking I ever did, and I was like, why don't I do this every day? And then I remember, because I need to cook for myself too, and so it's a lot of work. But if you do this and just freeze some and like portion some out, it really is super simple. So it's just super good for them. And I've seen some dogs that eat a completely raw diet and their coat is just rich and luxurious, and that's a little too much work. I'm not going that far, but I just wanted to make it a little more approachable and a little more simple. And so it's National Dog Day on August 26th, which is why we're doing this instead of being completely random. But so, make your dog some popsicles for the day, and they will love you for it.
Celebrate your favorites.
Yeah.
We're so fortunate to have them. Mm-hmm. Hi, Mr. Buddy.
Love 'em.
I'm sorry I didn't bring you to the studio this morning.
Him. Would have had so much fun.
Well, we'll do another television get together for the crew here,
to
for
play
sure.
with all the friends.
Lindsey, thank you so much. Let's do social media so people know your handles to follow along.
Yeah, so you can find me at LK Cooking on Instagram or www.lkcooking.com. My website is up right now, but I'm actually having a website with a blog built in, so soon I'll have these recipes up with some pictures and the actual recipes printed up there, so look out for that. That'll be in the next couple weeks. But I do have a website up right now. Follow my Instagram to find all the recipes.
So nice to see you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Have a wonderful weekend with the pups.
Oh, it's going to be great. We've got tons of treats now.
No doubt. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break. The show continues on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.